Yo, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money. And in today's episode, I want to talk about, I've seen a lot of people, I've seen a few posts about this, and it kind of got to me, and I was like, let me do a post about this. It may not be something, interesting, it may not be something serious. Some of the posts that I do, I get my inspiration for a lot of these posts on social media when I see a lot of social media posts about different topics and different things, and I decide, this should be a good topic for an episode, and that's what basically I do. A lot of my topics, and not only that, I also get it from you, the viewers. Some of you you email me or you comment at the bottom of the pages, and you talk about certain things, and it gets to me to let's do an episode about that. So a lot of my inspiration comes from social media and comments and posts and emails. So let's get right into it. So let's go. In this episode, I want to talk about name brand versus store brand, or name brand versus actual brand, meaning celebrity brand versus regular brand, imitation versus reality, whatever the case may be, meaning what's the difference between the name brand and the store brand? What's the difference between the celebrity version or the regular version? What's the difference between that? Because what I've been seeing, and this is what the thing I do, there are things out there that are owned, because now it's a new thing now, and this is starting to be a new trend. Because back then it wasn't as bad. You only had, back then you only had Michael Jordan, and you only had certain. Now it's starting to seem like a lot of celebrities are coming out with their own line of things. You got, back then you had Michael Jordan with the Jordan shoes. You had George Foreman in the grill. You had certain things. Now you got people coming out with their own cookware, their own cologne, their own clothing line, their own services, restaurants, things like that. Back then, the only people that was doing something was basketball players. Back then basketball players, Magic Johnson had restaurants, Michael Jordan had shoes, back then. And then you had it was only athletes that was making something of themselves, because a lot of athletes, after they retire from the sports industry, they make a name for themselves in businesses. Some of them open up a restaurant, or they have a clothing line, or things like that. Now you got rappers and actors and celebrities, musicians. You got all of these people that are, let's open up this, let's open up that, let's open up a restaurant, let's open up a clothing store, let's open up. I seen a commercial for Megan Thee Stallion where she's doing, Dunkin' Donuts. Not saying that she's opened up a donuts. And then there's also where Megan Thee Stallion on South Beach opened up a Popeyes restaurant, and I was like, what? Popeyes is on South Beach? And and another thing that I'm noticing, a lot of these people, especially in the consume, like a lot of these consumers and things like that, a lot of these people, they're only buying products because of the name. And I was thinking that, and I was looking at a post that a person, like one of the people that I follow, that I not that I follow on social media, and it was like, a lot of you people are only buying these products because of the name, and some of these, and I look at it. Let's say, for instance, Michael Jordan, the Jordans. The Jordans, they probably only cost $20 to make the shoes, but they're selling them for $200. So basically, they're profiting $180 out of you, because you realize a lot of these, and I'm not saying that it does cost $20 to make the shoes. This is what I'm saying. A lot of these products only cost 13 cents to make, or like for a lot of these businesses, because I work in the industry, and a lot, the consumer industry, and businesses and stuff, and a lot of these businesses, they buy just like food and beverage, they buy their products in bulk because they save money. Avocado may cost you 20 cents an avocado, but because you're buying it in bulk, you're saving money. It's the same thing with, cheese or sauce or bacon or ground beef or steak. A lot of these steaks probably cost $1.25 a steak because they're getting it wholesale. But you're buying it in bulk, you're probably paying $100 for a pack of steaks, and you're getting like 50 or 60 steaks. Minus, you're paying. But it's all because. And then, if a steak costs $1, if a steak in the wholesale costs $2 a steak, and you're paying $30 for a well done steak, you're helping the business profit 29 or 30, and a lot of these, because a lot of these, and then a lot of these businesses, oh, this is the Michael Jordan steak, oh, this is the Magic Johnson steak, or this is that. We don't know how much a pair of Jordans. I mean, I'm quite sure if you Google it and go online and do a full research, you can probably find out how much it makes, how much it is to make a pair of Jordans. Because you remember, a lot of these products are made overseas. They're made in different countries. They're made in countries where they have sweatshops and stuff, where people sitting in basements making 3 and 4 pairs of shoes a day per person, and when you come out of it, there's 100 pairs of shoes a day that's being made out of this sweatshop and things like that, where these workers are being paid 50 to 60 cents an hour, maybe $1 an hour, depending. I don't know how the labor is now, but I know back then it was like 50 or 60 cents an hour, because back then it was cheaper to pay your workers. Now it's probably $1 or $2 or whatever, because these are people that can work 8-9 hours a day to feed their families and stuff like that, and it probably only cost them pennies to make a pair of shoes, and a lot of you go out there and buy them. You're paying $200 for sneakers, and they only probably cost them $50 a make, so they're profiting $150 off of you because the name on it. And it's the same thing with name brand. To me, what's the difference? Because I see a lot of people that say, I would never buy the store-bought brand, I always buy name brand. What's the difference between name brand and store-bought? I know that some brands of store brands and some brands of name brand is better than store brand because of, it may be because where they get their ingredients and stuff. Just like if you look on the cans and things and boxes of some of these stuff, just like in medicines, I go buy cold medicines. I go to Walgreens and CVS because they're the goats of pharmacies. You have other pharmacies out there. You have mom and pop pharmacies. You have other pharmacies, but to me the goats are Walgreens and CVS. So you go in there. Sometimes I get the Walgreens brand. Sometimes I get the CVS brand, and they'll tell you, compare this to the Mucinex cold and flu, or compare this to the NyQuil cold and flu. And I said, if you got to compare, that means basically most of your ingredients are the same. It's just it's a store brand, and because it's a store brand, it's going to be $1 or $2 cheaper. And that's why I'm like, what is the difference? If this cold medicine is going to still help me with my cold, what is the difference between buying the store-bought cold medicine than the name brand cold medicine? Only because it's NyQuil, only because it's Mucinex, only because it's Alka-Seltzer, because of the name. That's what I'm paying for. That's basically what you're paying for. You're not paying because you feel like, oh, this is a better product because it's better to help me with my cold. No, you're paying for the name. Just like Jordan shoes. You're not paying because they're Jordan shoes. You're paying because every shoe is eventually going to wear and tear. Jordan shoes might take you longer. You might go into a like Payless shoe stores. A lot of people say, yeah, Payless shoe stores, they shoes don't last long. They may not last long, but they're a little bit not expensive. You're not paying $200 for it. And Jordans may last you like a month or two longer than regular Payless shoes, but you're paying a lot of money. Shoes are meant to wear and tear. Everybody buying Jordans and stuff, just like when they say with iPhones. Everybody say, when iPhones was coming out, everybody say iPhones have a long attention, long battery span. Their batteries is longer and stuff like that. if you have an iPhone, and the iPhone is just like every other regular phone, when you first purchase a phone, your battery is going to be pure batteries. Give it another year or two, and you still got that phone, because I have that incident. I don't have an iPhone. Your phone eventually is going to start to where the battery span, the battery life is going to start deteriorating. It's going to start going down. And then I see a lot of people say iPhones are better, iPhones are good. iPhones, I heard you got to pay for all of your services, number one. Number two, iPhone chargers uses a different type of charger. I've had plenty of people, especially at work, they'll come and say, anybody got an iPhone charger? Anybody got an iPhone charger? Well, Android chargers, you can connect any charger to your Android, to your phone. Whether you have a Samsung, a Motorola, you know, it doesn't matter what type of phone you have, it's you can still use the same. You could use a Samsung charger for a Motorola phone or stuff like that, and it still works. iPhones, you can't do that. iPhones, they all got to be the same iPhone charger. You can't use a Android charger on an iPhone. So things like that. And I look at it as if, what's the difference? Just like with iPhones, they come out with iPhones every year, and I'm like, the only difference with an iPhone that come out every year is probably because they up the gigs on the phones, and that's it. But what is it? The difference between the iPhone 14 versus the iPhone 17 and 18, it's the same. They probably just up the gigs and make it look a little bit more cooler, But I feel like, yeah, because y'all are impressed because it's something new coming out. Just like every year they come out with new Jordans and stuff like that. What's the difference between the 2026 Jordans and the 2025 Jordans? I have a pair of Jordans, and it was a Christmas gift for me from a former coworker of mine, and I wear them, but it's like I'm not finna go out here and buy a whole bunch of pair of Jordans, because I feel like shoes are shoes to me. It doesn't matter if you're paying $20 or $200 for a pair of shoes. As long as they are comfortable for me to walk around in, and stuff like that, shoes are shoes. But a lot of you, because you want to be fashionistas and you want to keep up with the times, you go and buy these nice outfits and stuff. And I used to always say this when I was younger. I used to say, a lot of these young kids go out and buy $200 outfits just to go flaunt it one day in the club. And then when they come back, they ain't got no money to pay their bills and stuff like that, because they more worried about the fashion and stuff like that. And I'm like, what is the difference between buying your shoes at a 5-star shoe store versus buying them at Payless? Yeah, I used to envy people that used to go into Foot Locker, because I thought Foot Locker was a little bit, but now Foot Locker have sales, and I bought shoes and stuff out of Foot Locker. So Foot Locker do give you discounts, and they do have sales and stuff like that. Because I used to feel like back in the day, Foot Locker was expensive. You go to Payless, and stuff like that. And people used to pick on you when you went to Payless, but I say don't knock Payless, because Payless was one of them places where you was on a budget and you want some shoes, and then Payless started, doing name brand shoes. Remember when Shaq came out with the Shaq shoes? Shaq shoes went into Payless. You know why? Because Shaq knew he wanted to make his shoes affordable for people. He wanted name brand shoes that people can afford. A lot of these people, not saying that I can't afford Jordans, but at one point in time, we as people couldn't afford $200 Jordans. We as people couldn't afford Patrick Ewing's and all these other, name brand shoes that was out there. We can't afford Versace. I know I can't afford Versace, because I ain't got Versace money. I may got Jordan shoes money, but I ain't got Versace money. I ain't got Birkin bag money and all of that stuff, and things like that. And I'm like, wow, you people really go out and pay all this money for stuff, and you really try to keep up with the times, knowing that you ain't got the money for it, and regardless if I had the money for Versace and Birkin bags and Dior and Michael Kors and all of this stuff, even if I had the money for it, I'm like, dude, that's not me, because what's in the stores, I found nice things, TJ Maxx, Burlington, Ross, DD's Discount. There's a lot of places out there that you can get inexpensive stuff and still look good, you know. And I'm not paying $300 for designer clothes when I can go find a nice outfit for $50 to $100 at a regular store and stuff like that. You know, y'all talk about Neiman Marcus and Macy's and the design Saks Fifth Avenue and all this. I say, you know what? I'm just like I did a video a while back of Bal Harbour Shops, which is a high end shopping mall here in Miami. It's on the beach. It's in the Bal Harbour area. And I serve Bal Harbour Surfside area. And I did and every store that I walked by, they had a security guard in there. And I was like, this is how you know that you're not coming in here with just $100 finna buy something. If you buy something for $100, it's something that's small and simple, like maybe a pair of underwear or something like that. But you're not coming in here buying nothing under $100. If you is, you're blessed. You know, maybe the food at the restaurant is under $100, but you're paying almost $30 to $40 for a plate of food, and you're getting a little cup of food. You know, and I say this, and I say, what is the difference? Just like going to Walmart and buying Kellogg's cornflakes versus the Great Value cornflakes. It's still the same cornflakes. The ingredients probably is the same. It's just you're paying more for the name. And a lot of people don't understand that. And a lot of people feel like, no, because that's a name brand. No, you're paying for the name. You realize a lot of these companies get their same products, get their same ingredients, or get the same products or equipment or material from the same place that these stores. Walmart probably get the same products and quality and products from the same place Publix get theirs from. It's just Publix have to live up to a standard that they are a high-end store and they sell $10 pound ground beef when the ground beef at Walmart is $5 a pound. And you're buying milk at cause a half a gallon of milk only costs you $1 and something at Walmart. Only like $1, like no more than $2 at Walmart. A half a gallon of milk at Publix is gonna cost you about $3 a gallon. $3. And I'm like, why? And it's because, we're Publix, you know, no. You know, and a lot of people used to criticize, because I used to shop at Save-A-Lot before they closed a South Florida location. Save-A-Lot was a low-budget supermarket, and I used to like going there because their prices were cheap. And a lot of the stuff, like 70% of the stuff that was in Save-A-Lot was not name brand. It was either the Save-A-Lot brand or it was a no-name brand. You know, it was a name brand. And I used to buy it, and it still was good. And a lot of you saying this because they was like, this and that, this and that. The only thing I get, you know, buying knockoff cheese, you know, like how they used to say about the government cheese, it never melt and it used to sweat and all that stuff. Yeah, I get certain products, it's not good to buy. You got to buy the actual brand. Just like with Great Value. I buy the Great Value cheese from Walmart, and it melts the same way as Kraft, and it melts the same way as Velveeta and all the other cheeses out there. It's just that y'all buy the Kraft and the Velveeta because they're name brand. You know, no, it's not about name brand. It's about getting what's value. I don't eat this type of stuff because it's not name brand. Or I don't go to this type of place because it's not name brand. No, it's because you're being consumed into branding. I only buy Jordan shoes because they're made by Michael Jordan. Of course, if they was made by Payless, you would have said no. Michael Jordan shoes are only popular because y'all named the shoes. And I seen a post about this, about a guy who posted, you know, you go out there and buy, like a lot of these kids don't even know who Michael Jordan is. They just know Jordans. A lot of these kids grew up in the 2000s and they, Michael Jordans because they're the most fanciest shoes out there. Never seen the man play. Never knew what the man did. Probably don't even know about Space Jam. You only know about the Space Jam with LeBron James. And that's it. You know, y'all don't know nothing about Michael Jordan's. Nobody knows about Patrick Ewing and his shoes. Because you don't look at who is Patrick Ewing? I remember the Ewings. I remember them. And a lot of y'all don't remember. A lot of y'all don't know a lot of these people because you never heard of them. Who is Michael Jordan? Oh, he the one behind the shoes? Is he the businessman? No, Michael Jordan was one of the greatest basketball players in the 90s. And a lot of y'all don't know him for that. You just know him because, oh, he got shoes. Oh, I like the new Jordans. No. And then you're only wearing these shoes because they got his name. You realize a lot of these businesses are making money off of y'all because of the name. They're not making money off of y'all because y'all know the shoes are nice. Because there are some shoes out there that are made by Jordan, and there are some shoes out there that are named by designers that I'll say that does not look cute at all. And I'll say, Like every time my mama, when I was younger, my mom used to go shopping. My mom used to say, "You like this?" I used to always tell her, "I ain't gotta wear it." And with me, that means it may look good for you, but it's not good for me. It may look cute on you, but it doesn't look cute on me. Meaning I would, because she'll always tell me, it's not with dresses and nothing like that. It's with shoes. Like she'll say, "Do you think these shoes look good?" And I say, "I ain't gotta wear them." Sometimes I did say about dresses and stuff like that, but that doesn't mean because I'm, that doesn't make me a little fruitcake or nothing like that. It's just that I say, just in general, like if I was a woman and I see this dress, hey, I ain't gotta wear it. Hey, look, if you like it and you want to buy it, But for me, I wouldn't even buy it from a girl if I was to do that because I'm like, yeah, no, I don't. That dress don't look good, and things like that, And there are some Jordan shoes and some shoes that I've seen that cost you $200-300 and they rocking Nikes and all that. I'm like, you know what? Nah, dude, they don't look cute at all. But if you stamp somebody's name on it that's famous, the Cardi B Nikes or the Nicki Minaj, shorts, and they costing you $50, and you like, oh, they're Nicki Minaj shorts, I'm gonna get them. Yeah, you getting it because they're Nicki Minaj shorts, but let it be some off-brand type, great value shorts. You'll be like, great value shorts? No. Just like if they came out with an MC Hammer cereal, some of y'all be like, who is MC Hammer? No, I'm gonna get the Michael Jordan cereal because it's Jordan. Like that's why I say a lot of you people and people out here are consumed about these name brand, not knowing that the knockoff brands and the store brands are just as good. When I order groceries from Walmart, when I buy cereal, I don't buy the name brand cereal. The name brand cereals cost $1 to $2 more than the regular, store brand. Great Value is one of my favorites. I buy Great Value all the time. There are certain things that, yes, I will buy the name brand on because it's better than the store brand. But I feel like, the store brand it worked for me. Cereal is cereal. It doesn't matter. Just because, because that's going to be gone in a couple of days. Especially if you got 3 and 4 kids running around your house and you buy a box of cereal. That cereal is going to be gone in about 2-3 days. Everybody get a bowl of cereal one day. Everybody get a bowl of second cereal the other day. Depending on how much they pour in their bowl, your cereal gone in 3 days. For me, a cereal can last a couple of days because, I don't have kids, and stuff like that. But at the same time, I look at it as if y'all are consumed on, oh, this is the name brand cereal. This is Kellogg's this is Kellogg's that, and I look at it as if y'all are consumed by that. Oh, this is the Jordans. I'm going to buy the Jordans. I'm not going to buy this. Oh, this the Cardi B cologne, or, this is this cologne and that cologne, or, everybody comes out with cologne. I was looking, at it, stuff like that. Remember when Patti LaBelle came out with the Patty Pies? I mean, there was a crave over the Patty Pies, and I was like, people was going crazy. And I say, you know what? And I was looking at this, and I say, y'all only buying this because it got Patti LaBelle name on it. But you realize now, if you go inside of these Walmarts, that is a factory-made pie. They say if you pull up to Patti LaBelle's house and give her $20, she will give you a pie. And that's a Patti LaBelle made pie. You realize the pies that you are buying out of Walmart that says Patti LaBelle on it is factory made. Let me tell you, you're probably getting the same ingredients that she puts into the pies. Whether it's the pumpkin and the spices and all that, you're getting the same ingredients because they're not going to level away from the ingredients. You're getting the same ingredients that you're getting that Patti LaBelle say, here's my ingredients, make the pies. You're getting the same ingredients, but the thing is, it's factory made. You really think they have 20 pies in Walmart? In every Walmart, there's 20 pies in there. You really think Patti LaBelle made all 20 of them pies? No. She's with a factory, and the factory is making those pies. Now Patti LaBelle has not only just, pies, the patty pie. She has also, and I bought it too. She has banana pudding and other types of pies. So you really think that she's sitting there making all of this by herself? No, it's a factory. You're getting the factory. The only thing is, it's because they got Patti LaBelle's picture, name, and signature on it, to where it's, oh, this is a Patti LaBelle. Oh, I'm going to get, yes, you're getting the same ingredients that she puts into her own pies as if she was making it. The only thing is, they're making it in the factory. They're putting the spices and the crust and all that stuff the same way she makes her pies. They're doing it in the factory, and it's factory made. It's just not made by her. The only thing is because it's her name on it, you're buying it. And I'm like, you know what? Y'all are consumed because celebrities stamp their name on a box of cereals. They stamp their name on a pie, pie. They stamp their name on shoes, and it sells because their name is on there. And I'm like, you gotta realize something. It probably doesn't cost that much to make a Patti LaBelle pie. It probably costs you maybe $1 just to make one whole pie. And because the ingredients, and you're buying it in bulk, it probably doesn't cost you that much to make a pie, But at the same time, just like what I said about Jordans, it doesn't probably cost you a lot to make Jordans. It probably costs you $10 to $20 to make a pair of Jordans, and then you're paying $100. You're paying almost $200 to $300 for a pair of Jordans. Y'all are, cause people are, and I'm not saying y'all, I'm saying in general, the media is consumed with because it has a name on it. Just like Magic Johnson theaters. There are a couple of Magic Johnson Burger Kings that are down here in South Florida because Magic Johnson bought a few Burger Kings down here. You think I'm going inside the Burger King because Magic Johnson owns them? No. Because when have I ever seen Magic Johnson in Miami inside of his Burger Kings? I've never seen Magic. He's probably been here to Miami, of course, because he was a basketball legend. And, of course, in basketball, he had to play the Miami Heat. And sometimes he had to come down here to play the Miami Heat at their own arena. But at the same time, I've never seen him down here in his restaurant saying, oh yeah, let's go to the Miami Burger King where I own. And some of his restaurants have closed down, since then. So it's like just like the Magic Johnson Theater. You think I'm going to go in the Magic Johnson Theater because it's owned by Magic Johnson? No, I'm going to go in there because it's a movie theater. Not because it's owned by Magic Johnson. I just want to go see a movie. If I'm in the area and I want to see a movie, I'm going to go there because it's Magic Johnson Theater. It doesn't care if it's Magic Johnson, AMC, Regal Cinemas, whatever. It's just a movie theater that's playing my movie. I'm going to go to whatever movie theater is playing the movie I want to see. And I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to go over here. Not because if it's Magic Johnson, because it's a movie theater that's close to me and I need to go see this movie, and a lot of people are consumed. No, let's not go to this movie theater. Let's go to this one because it's owned by Magic Johnson. What's the difference? It's not like you're going to see Magic Johnson himself because that man doesn't come to his movie every time, and that's what I'm saying with a lot of these stuff. A lot of people are consumed by name brands because a lot of these name brands are marked by celebrities. Patti LaBelle pies, Michael Jordan shoes, Magic Johnson theaters, Versace and all this kind. Just like the Versace mansion that's here on South Beach. They say there's a restaurant inside the Versace mansion. If I had the money, I'd go to the restaurant, but that restaurant probably gonna cost you a whole $200-$300 just for some food. And I'm like, no, I ain't got that type of money to be spending on no Versace. I got the money, but I ain't got that money to be trying to spend on no plate of food. Like, let me go to TGI Fridays or Chili's or Cheesecake Factory, and I can get filled up just by a plate of food from there. So let me know what y'all think about this. Do you think that it is bad that people are consumed by foods and products because of the name? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Do you think that it's nothing wrong with it? Because I feel like there's a lot wrong with it, because I feel like that a lot of people are consumed by merchandise because of the branding from celebrities and stuff. What do you think about this? Do you think that it's wrong to be consumed by products because of the name of it? Or do you think it's a good thing to be consumed by a product because it's the name of it? Because a lot of these products, they can have a name on it, but the quality may not be good. You can have Jordan shoes that can only last you a year, but just because it's Jordans, you want to rock them. Let me know what you think about that. Comment at the bottom of this page. Email me also at roundtable305@yahoo.com because I want to know what y'all feel about this. Do y'all think this is a good thing? Do y'all think this is a bad thing? Are you consumed by name brand products because of it's Kellogg's, because it's Jordan's, because it's Patti LaBelle, because it's Versace, because it's Michael Kors and things like that? Are you consumed by it, or do you think it's a good thing and a bad thing? Because to me, I'm not consumed because your name is on, you're a celebrity, your name is on it. Long as it's nice, like a pair of shoes. Long as a pair of shoes that don't wear out in 2 or 3 days and they can get me to walk around, I'm cool with it. So let me know. Comment at the bottom of this page. Email me, roundtable305@yahoo.com. And I thank y'all for watching this episode. And don't forget to check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to check out Hotspots in South Florida, Histories in South Florida, Traveling with the Roundtable Talk, Food Review South Florida, and Traveling and Roundtable Traveling to Key West. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, stay hydrated. And of course, I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.